Hello, Divine Feminine. I'm super excited to be here to do your reading. As you guys know, I'll say it again. You guys are my favorite reading of the week. And I've actually been missing you guys because we got really busy trying to switch our website over and get group calls set up properly and everything for you guys, that some of our content got a little bit delayed, and I feel like I totally neglected you guys, Divine Feminine. And so please know this. You guys are my absolute favorite. And I didn't do it on purpose, I swear. But here I am. I'm back with some more Divine Feminine guidance and hopefully some inspiration for you. We have a whole bunch of specials going on right now. So we've got 10% off of our coaching calls. We've got 20% off of our tarot readings. So the coupon codes for those are in our description box below. So if you're interested in tarot readings or coaching calls, right now is a good time to set those up with us. We've got that special running for a while with each one of them. And I'll just kind of keep announcing it for you guys. But go check us out. You can also go to the Conduits, the-conduits.com, and see the different offers that we have. We've got one-on-ones, tarot readings, live tarot readings is also an option. And we have group calls. Our group calls are really, really cool and really fun. And we talk about a lot of really amazing things. And you get to talk to other twin flames, other students, and hear other people's journeys and stories. And we've got, with the group membership, you also get our Facebook page and access to the full interviews for our Conduits of the Month and also for other twin flames. You'll see a lot of those coming out soon. So if you want the full content and the full story of those are also for paying members. So there's a few different things that we have to offer, but we also have a lot of great free content that's coming out soon for you guys too. So check us out, and I would love the opportunity to work with you guys. All right, Divine Feminine, what is your current situation right now? What is going on in Divine Feminine's current situation? You might be feeling like there is some bad luck going on in your situation right now. Maybe you feel like things are out of sorts, that things are just not going in the flow or the direction that you would like for them to be. This is probably because right now, especially if you're in the earlier parts of your initiation and awakening process, sometimes things break down a little bit so that they can be built back up again. But it is going to feel during that period of time like everything is just not working out the way that you wanted it to, or everything's falling apart. But do not fret, Divine Feminine. It's actually not falling apart. Everything is happening as it's meant to, and it's opening doors for you that you don't realize are being opened. Now, Source can see way beyond and behind and around corners than we can as just through the mortal mind. But your awakening process is opening you up to that. Like, you will start to develop, clairvoyance. You will start to develop a higher and more elevated perspective, which is going to give you the ability to be able to see things further out than you were able to before. Just kind of like when you were a kid, right? When you were 5 years old, your parents could see that things were going to happen and you thought your parents knew everything. And you were like, how did my parents even know that? Well, it's kind of like that right now. Like, think of yourself spiritually in that way. You're just waking up, and God, Source, your soul, can see way around corners that your mind can't. And you are transcending the mind right now, which is where that limitation comes from. Okay, so as you progress, good things are headed in your direction. Right now, what are the challenges that you're facing? Let's check this card out. It looks like we have King of Cups in reverse. So probably what is happening right now in this breakdown, there's like a situation that's happening right now. You feel lost and kind of out of control. But part of that is because you are dealing with certain kinds of manipulative and abusive people. It could be one person in particular. It could be a family member. It could be a spouse. It could even be like a brother or a sister, maybe even a best friend, someone who you've been extremely attached to. It's possible that it could even be your own divine masculine that is not treating you correctly or fairly. Maybe the behavior is just really striking you as being somewhat narcissistic. I don't know for sure that it's your divine masculine. It probably isn't. For some of you, I suppose that it could be. Or maybe there's certain elements of that in your relationship with your divine masculine, but it almost seems like it's coming from something else. Like that's the feeling that I'm getting, is not so much that it's the divine masculine, but it's maybe like an ex-partner or an ex-husband or an ex-wife. It could be a current spouse that you have, that you're in a relationship with. It could be family members, like I said, that you're just kind of at this place where you're so done with it. You are just tired of the emotional manipulation. You don't want to deal with it anymore because you are seeing through this breakdown that's taking place that you don't deserve this kind of treatment. Maybe you fell for some of these games before, but you can see now that you don't deserve to be treated that way. You know yourself pretty well at this point, and you know that that isn't the way that you should be treated. Now, along with this, you got to be careful, because sometimes when you've been emotionally manipulated and treated poorly in the past, you can start to think that everyone's treating you that way. Like you can start to see the world through a filter that like everyone's out to get you or something. Or you could project, old issues from old relationships into new relationships. I've been guilty of doing this before. I've not met anyone who hasn't been guilty of doing that. So we need to really do like some self-observation so that we can make sure that we're not projecting onto others, as we heal from the actual emotional abuse and manipulation and trauma that we've experienced from the uncomfortable narcissists in our life. What is it that you need to focus on, Divine Feminine? What should you be focused on right now? So this card represents a solid leader, a solid mentor, practicality, a wise instructor. This means two things to me for you. Seek out wisdom, but be wise about who you seek it from. You are your own master. You are your own guru. You are your own teacher. You are your own guide. The answers are found inside of you. But that does not mean we cannot find wise and valuable mentors and teachers in the world that can help us along our path and help us with our spiritual maturation. I can't talk today. But you can, but be wise about who you choose to accept information from. Every single teacher or mentor that you meet along your path is going to have some really great and amazing information for you that is going to cause you to have breakthroughs. And then they're also going to have some stuff that just doesn't resonate or that you just flat out disagree with. You don't necessarily have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. However, take the parts that you know work for you, that you know are right for you, that do resonate, that are uplifting, and that help you to become a better version of yourself, right? Because this is your ascension and this is all about growth. So be careful with that, but don't, feel like you can't accept, knowledge and information from people. Don't get fearful about doing that. Just use your discernment. Sometimes things resonate and then they don't. Sometimes they resonate and they stay that way. Sometimes something doesn't resonate and then later on you're like, oh, now I get it. So just use your own discernment and trust that inner compass, okay? That inner compass inside of you, your emotional guidance system. What is it that you're leaving in your past, Divine Feminine? What you leaving behind? For this, we have the Death card. It looks like you are really in a massive state of change. Like you're moving on and leaving a lot of things behind. And with a rebirth, it's really, you're almost going, not almost. With a rebirth, you're going through a total transformation. And that doesn't surprise me at all. If you are a twin flame on this journey, that's what this is it's a rebirth and a complete and total transformation. Now, it does not happen overnight. It is a process that takes time. So be patient with yourself as you go through the cocoon phase of this process. It is leading you and guiding you on your journey. You've got all kinds of help from the unseen world, okay? And this is a really, really good thing to know and understand. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything from the unseen world has your best interests at heart. Again, do not be afraid. Just use your discernment. Oops, I put that in the wrong spot. Use your discernment in the seen world with other people, books, media, all those kinds of things. Use your discernment there, but also use your discernment when it comes to the your own thoughts and the energies that you're picking up on, okay? Not all of that is coming from you. So just keep that in mind, okay? You are the watcher, the observer. Focus on being present, and you're the one who ultimately decides, and practice that skill. It's not something that's learned overnight. Strengths. What are your strengths? Resilience. You are really, really good at picking yourself up and putting yourself back together when things get difficult and hard. Nothing stops you. You just keep going. People outside, you don't always feel like you're strong. You oftentimes feel extraordinarily weak, but everyone outside of you thinks you're strong because you've been able to overcome so much. And you still have this beautiful and amazing attitude toward life. You never become like completely jaded. And even if you've gone through periods of feeling a little jaded about this or that, you always learn and grow from it and mature from it. And then you've always seemed to got like this positive attitude, you're still cheerful and happy. You still smile. You're an uplifter. You uplift everyone, even when you're feeling down. And that's what makes you so special, okay? People like you are so desperately needed in this world. So spread your light and your wisdom, Divine Feminine. You are amazing. Let's see. Near future. What's going on in your near future? Ooh. You are going to be dealing with someone with some serious victim mentality. This is probably the same person that you've been dealing with abuse in your past and in your present. This person's extremely emotionally manipulative, and things have not changed and are not going to change with this person anytime soon. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to let this person go And for those of you that this is your divine masculine, you absolutely 100%, especially if they're your twin flame, have to let them go. If their attitude and the way that they're treating you isn't in alignment with your soul, then it's your duty. It's your duty to do that. You need to work on you and take care of yourself and show up for yourself the way that your twin flame, should be showing up for you. You have to do that. You have to have boundaries. And especially if it's your twin flame, because this is your personal journey, your ascension, and that's critical to your ascension. And for that inner union, okay? You gotta do it, especially if it's your twin. You gotta cut that off. You can't allow them to treat you like crap. But that goes for anyone, like even if it's not your twin flame, find ways. There's a lot of people in the world, a lot of wonderful psychologists and therapists that put their information out online for free. There's also a lot of great spiritual teachers and guides that are out there putting really valuable information on these kinds of subjects for free. If you've got someone who's extraordinarily toxic, manipulative, and who is constantly taking advantage of your good nature, do a lot of research in this area and really learn and understand where that's coming from in you, because it's one thing to be empathetic, but it's another thing to go to the extreme and have toxic empathy where you're enabling other people to continue down a bad path and to use you, because that's not good for you and it's not good for them either. Okay. You gotta cut that off and really put yourself in a position of taking your power back. Okay. You've got so much value, and people like that, it's not that they're evil or bad. They've just been through some stuff and they've got to figure it out on their own, and they need to understand that you're not a resource for them to abuse and take advantage and not have to do things on their own. You got to have boundaries. Advice. What is the advice for divine feminine? The advice is, if you allow these changes without resistance or working through the resistance, just so that these changes can come in more rapidly, like trusting God, trusting Source, trusting the journey that you're on above all other things. Don't put anyone in between your soul and that, okay? Then you are going to be rewarded in the sense of hope, and recovery will be returning. Like you're going to have like this light lifted experience of not carrying around all of these like burdens. Just let them go. A lot of the burdens that we're carrying around, it's like, dragging around a suitcase of things you don't need. You don't need those things. Your mind will try to tell you that you do, because it doesn't want to get left in the dust, right? Your ego doesn't want to get left in the dust. Your ego needs you, your energy and attention to survive. But once you figure that out and you let it go, then, it's done. It's gone. You're letting the bag go. You're letting the burden go. And that's a great thing. So I think that what Source is trying to tell you is be in the flow, trust, have faith in something in the unseen more than you do in the seen, and trust your faith in your knowing above the mind and its whisperings. And, light, like basically like a lightness, a freedom is going to come to you as a natural result of that. It's just, and it'll be pretty instant. It'll be pretty instant once you make that your center point or your bullseye, your spiritual journey, your spiritual path. Okay, environment. Ooh. Abundance. Abundance. This is where this is leading you to. Okay, so this is like what you've been dealing with, and then this is the promise. Okay, this is the future. So that's why it starts out with advice. If you can kind of just let it all go, all of the burdens that you've been carrying needlessly through fear and a lack of trust, then abundance is where this will lead you. We have a video in our story time called Letting Go of the Rope. And I suggest if that's any kind of an issue for you, you go find that video and watch it. It's something that Brent and I talk about a lot, is just letting go of the rope, realizing that we don't need to, that we're holding on to something that we don't need to be holding on to. It's not really serving us for our highest good. And so we kind of keep that motto going. But we found that story, and it was actually because, Brent would talk about letting go of the rope, and it was something that he had heard at one point. We actually searched it out, and that wasn't the original story, but it was the same kind of moral, and so we ended up using that. So that's kind of something that Brent taught me, and it's become a staple in our relationship and in our own lives. We just talk about, we need to let go of the rope in this situation. So go check that video out. All right, hopes and fears. Hopes and fears. All right, here we have another card that's talking about abuse. So you definitely have something going on in your life where you're dealing with someone who's been extraordinarily abusive, and you've been on a path. Now, I want you to know that all the things you've gone through, as terrible as they've been, have taught you and given you perspective that is extremely valuable in this world. So transmutation of that negative energy through your ascension process is going to help you turn those seemingly like cursed situations into extremely valuable gifts of wisdom for yourself and for others. So there is a higher purpose in this for you. But this process has been telling you to let go of whatever the source of that is, externally and internally. Okay, you can let it go, and you're not bound to the situation the way that you have always thought that you were. And so that, your fear might be that you can't do that, or that you'll never be able to do that. But the hope is that you can free yourself from this. And what I'm seeing in the cards is absolutely that's just what's going to happen. You already are in the process of freeing yourself from that. And it's your birthright, it's your destiny. There's a place that this is leading you to. Okay, and what is that place? What is your potential outcome? All right, for this we have Strength in reverse. And again, another card about abuse, okay? So the potential outcome of this is that you are going to, and have been dealing with, a lot of somebody abusing abusing the power that they have taken. It's they thought it was rightfully theirs. And in your weakened state during a period of time in your life, you gave that power to them because they can't take it from you. It's yours. It's your birthright. But you can be duped or tricked or manipulated into thinking that you don't have that power. And there's been so much disrespect, sabotage, fear, gaslighting, anxiety, depression, just a total lack of respect for who you are as an individual, and a complete selfishness. And they're just siphoning that energy off of you. And the beautiful thing about this is, what this card is showing me is your potential outcome is that you're absolutely taking your power back. 100%. Taking all of your power back. You have grown so much on your spiritual journey at this point that this person has absolutely no effect on you. And you realize that they never did. That it was something that, through an incorrect perception that was given to you through trauma and experiences in your life. that you've overcome that now, and you realize that you hold all the power. And that's truly what this person didn't want you to know. They didn't want you to know that you held all the power. That was why they were acting and behaving the way that they were, because they knew that you were actually the one that was strong. You were actually the one who had, all of the gifts and, the favor of, this universe. And because your heart is so good and so pure and so, like, unselfish. And they wanted that light for themselves. They wanted that, they didn't want to lose you. But all of their methods of keeping you were wrong. And now, as a result, they have lost you. And you know what? That's okay. That's what they needed, because that's part of their growth. They needed that in order to be able to grow in their journey. We all teach each other, and we play lots of characters in each other's lives. And this is no different. You and this person, maybe you guys had some kind of a soul contract or something, something that you guys needed to teach each other. They're here to teach you, and you're here to teach them. They're teaching you what you don't want, and you're teaching them what they do want, and what it's like to lose that. And so, yeah, that's actually pretty dang cool. I think that you should feel really, really good about that, and excited, because you're being set free through this process to self-actualize and become the best version of yourself. And you're doing it, Divine Feminine. You're doing all the hard stuff, all the internal hard stuff that it takes in order to do that and ascend up that ladder, that stairway to heaven. You're making it happen. And I am super proud of you. I am. All right, here is your oracle card. All right, sacral chakra. The sacral chakra, also called Swadhisthana, is the second chakra located just below the navel. It emanates the energies related to creativity, self-worth, and sexuality. It also governs the energies of friendliness, sensation, and emotion. It resonates to the color orange and the gemstone carnelian, agate, orange, calcite, and tiger's eye. When this card appears in your reading, you are being asked to examine how you emotionally communicate, both with yourself and with others. Are you effectively communicating your creative thoughts, ideas, and expressions in an understandable, loving, and healthy way? If not, this chakra may be out of balance. You are asked to meditate upon its energies, to examine and understand your drive for creative expression, as well as your understanding of your own emotions, to help with your situation. There's something really special that is wanting to come out for you. You would not be going through this journey and this transformation. Remember, total transformation for you, if there wasn't something really, really special that your soul wanted to bring into this world, and something that this world so desperately needs that only you can bring in. Okay, you were born for this, Divine Feminine. You were born for this. It's why you came here. And allowing this journey and not holding on to things that don't serve you well, and just trusting, is going to bring you to that place where you're going to be able to bring that gift out into the world. And I can't wait to see your light shine. I love you, Divine Feminine. Thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.